I'm Kerry. I'm a retired financial advisor, and I've got this channel, Best of Us in Retirement, so that I can share my knowledge with other retired people. I've been retired actually since 2005. I think I've mastered retirement. But over on the other channel, Best of Us Investors, we have a Discord, and in that Discord we have a Patreon, and people get access to my portfolio, and I let them know every time I'm going to trade something. And then every second Thursday, we do a question and answer situation called a live stream. I sit over in the other office and I go live and answer their questions. They feed me questions and I answer them. And Frank sent me a question that I thought was very appropriate for my retirement channel. Frank is 67 years old. He's worked as a broker and he's done well at it. But he said he's seen my other retirement videos and said, you know, you need to get a skill that you can monetize. He says he has no skill, but he needs to slow down. He needs to get out of his job. And he made a mistake in that for the years that he worked, he saved, but he put everything that he saved into a non-qualified bank account. So he missed out on any growth potential that the stock market might have given him. He said, I wish I had discovered you 40 years later. I would be in a very different situation. He has accumulated $600,000 sitting in a bank account, probably making something less than 1.5% interest, maybe making no interest. He also has $250,000 in equity. He didn't say he had any debt, but I'm going to assume, it sounds like he's a pretty conservative guy. I'm going to assume he doesn't have any debt. So with that in mind, he asked me, what should I do? How should I get involved in the stock market? He literally asked me, where should I put the money? And so I said to him that there's some choices. He could go to, I use E-Trade. I also use Schwab, TD Ameritrade. Fidelity has a pretty good program. I guess it comes down to what is his comfort zone relative to having someone else look over it, or is he comfortable doing it on his own? That's a decision he needs to make. If he asks someone to help him, he's going to end up paying probably a management fee of somewhere around 1%. Because if it was over $1 million, it would be probably 0.5%. But with $600,000, it's going to be about 1%. So he needs to make a decision on his own whether or not he's comfortable managing it himself, or he's comfortable with someone watching over it. But nonetheless, here's my 20-year plan. So I'm going to take him till he's 87 years old and actually beyond. I'm going to suggest that Frank leaves 100,000 of that 600,000 in the bank. And that's going to be to finance the next 5 years. And I'm saying, okay, for the next 5 years, I want you to take $20,000 a year out to fund your needs on top of your Social Security. I assume Frank is married and his wife's Social Security. So that'll probably give him something in the neighborhood of $50,000 a year. So if or whether he or not he can live on it, that remains to be seen, but there is more to it. So now he has $500,000 to invest. I'm going to suggest that basically Frank buys my big six. That is Amazon, Google, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, and Facebook. And he puts $41,666 into each of those investments. So that will take $250,000 of his $500,000. Then I'm going to suggest that he takes that other $250,000 and he divides it evenly amongst ARK investments, that's Kathy Wood's investments, into ARKK, which is her innovation fund, ARKG, which is her genome fund, ARKF, which is her fintech fund, and ARKW, which is her next generation fund. Then add to that same equal distribution into Berkshire Hathaway's Class B shares, the S&P 500 Index Fund, SPDR, and the NASDAQ Index Fund, QQQ. That will basically distribute that other $250,000 to the tune of $35,714 each. That will be his investment portfolio. Now what I want to do is take a look at how this investment, if it returns him an average of 10% a year, how it's going to work out. What you're going to see is I'm going to give him another $10,000 off of these investments, so that will basically bring him up from, he's going to have $30,000 in Social Security, he's going to have $20,000 drawing down his bank, and he's going to have another $10,000 coming off of his investments each month. So let's look at the spreadsheet and see how he turns out. Okay, this is my spreadsheet on Frank, 67 years old. He told us he's got $600,000. We're going to put $100,000 into a cash account, and he's going to draw $20,000 off of it each year for 5 years. He's going to supplement that by taking $10,000 off of his invested $500,000 each year for those 5 years. That's going to give him $30,000 worth of income, the $10,000 or the $20,000 from the cash, and $10,000 from the investments for the 5 years. So he's investing at, we're anticipating a 10% growth off of our tech stocks, our ARK investments, our index funds, and Berkshire Hathaway. So he's going to get $50,000. That'll increase his account to $550,000. He'll draw down 10, that's $540,000. The $540,000 comes over here, and we repeat the same thing until he's 71 years old. At 71, we now go into an 8% withdrawal, and now he's taken $65,000 out, which is actually doubling the amount of money that he has access. So what that basically tells us, if he needs more than 10, he can. But you can see that even though Frank has no experience in the stock market whatsoever, again, we're expecting a 10% growth, but we're also holding a cash reserve at that to give him 5 years to make sure he doesn't get caught in a market crash, and his assets grow substantially. Certainly what I would suggest is when we hit this 72 years of age, we review it. We might want to say, okay, we've got a portfolio now of some $750,000. Maybe we want to take another $100,000 out, put it in a cash reserve, and just do the same thing over. Okay, you can see Frank's in strong ground. We might beat up on Frank and say, Frank, you should have been invested in at least those index funds for the past 30, 40 years. But that didn't happen. Frank is part of my generation. No one educated us on finances. I actually didn't learn about finances until I was put into a predicament that I needed a job, and I needed money, and I determined I could not become a doctor or a lawyer, so I became a financial advisor back in the early 1990s. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had financial knowledge. So Frank's in the same situation I was in, except I had the advantage that somewhere around 48 years old, I did get financial knowledge, and I built some wealth as a result of that. So don't beat yourself up. Hope you learned from what Frank gave me and what I gave him back. And it's not too late, and it's not that difficult. The stock market is going to continue to grow. Is it going to crash at any time soon? History says yes. But in Frank's case, if we've got the cash set aside to fund the next 5 years, and I suspect even after this 5 years is over, we might draw some more cash reserve out and fund it 5 years, 5 years, 5 years, and he's good, okay? So don't beat yourself up too bad if in fact you didn't realize what you should have been doing when you should have been doing it. It's not too late. And there's so much knowledge available right now. Frank, I would encourage you to go to my videos where I'm teaching course number 1, number 2, and number 3 of what you should read, how you should educate yourself. Yeah, you're working now. Maybe just cut your time back, cut your income in half or down to a third. Keep yourself busy. But I would encourage you, if you want to learn more about investing, read the books I suggest. They're all down in the description. And educate yourself, and you will find you will get extremely excited about it. So excited that you'll gather with your friends, and when you go off on a tangent like I do, their eyes will glass over and they will say, "What the hell are you talking about? Genome sequencing and 3D printing and robotics and cryptocurrency. What have you turned into, Frank?" But that's okay. That's okay. It gives us purpose. It gives us excitement. It gives us something to do every day. You will find your portfolio. You will find a way to see it every day, just like I do, and see yourself making money, and some days losing money. But if you have this plan, like I showed you in the spreadsheet, you know what's going to happen. You don't have to worry about it, but you can gain a lot of pressure from it. Okay, that's my take on Frank's situation. If you have a specific question, the easiest way to do it is to become a member of Best of Us Investors Discord and send me questions, and I'll be happy to help you any way I can. Okay, I'm enjoying my retirement. I've been doing it since 2005. I think I've gotten pretty good at it. Then I got a question about what exactly do I eat, how do I diet, how do I exercise. So I'll do that in a video coming soon. All right, I enjoy this. Come again, we'll talk some more.